Bobby Dirkens here. I know a lot of people's been wondering, why haven't you put out a reaction video to your Clemson Tigers and their big defensive performance? I'm sorry. I got Hurricane Irma outside my window right now, tearing up everything from Barbados all the way up through Florida, knocking out Georgia and about to give South Carolina a black eye. I didn't have time. Most annoying Irma I know, and let me tell you, my Aunt Irma is a horrible person. All the time I ever questioned God in my entire life, only time, was when he took my Uncle Bill and did not take Irma. I know it sounds bad to me. Go meet Irma. You'll be ready to throw her off a bridge and do God a little side cleanup job yourself. But anyway, that's what I've been dealing with. But I cannot rave enough about our defensive performance. It was just amazing. I don't think Auburn had a clue what was coming at them. In fact, between you and I knew our defense was good, but I did not expect that. Let me read you some numbers right here. Total yards for Auburn with Chuck Malzahn and his. He didn't have a really sweater vest the other night. It was more of a zip-up vest. That could be a problem. You can't blame a man for trying. Auburn had 117 total yards. 117 total yards. That's right, 79 passing yards. They were 13 of 24 and averaged 3.3 yards per pass. And then if that's impressive, oh, I'll blow you away with the rushing stats. Hearing Petway coming in, and I know that other guy was sitting on the bench, but I'm sorry, if you sat and watched that game, you have to grow a brain. If you don't, you just need to go down to one of those special hospitals, check yourself in, put on a plush little cotton coat, sit in a wheelchair and let an orderly push you around. They had 42 rushing attempts, netted 38 yards. I ain't a mathematician, so I'm going to read this. That's less than a yard per carry. The great Clemson defense came out there. They pointed at them and they said, "We will not be denied. We are the greatest defense in the country." And everybody, including myself, thought Ohio State was right up there in the running until we saw what they did. Just a 30-minute difference between them and Clemson games. So we saw what happened. The best defense in the country was playing Saturday night. They wore orange and they play in Clemson. For some of you wise guys out there, they don't have navy blue on them at all. So, then we talk about the offense. Listen to me. Dabo Swinney has a national championship, a ton of wins. He's beat the who's who of college football left and right. I don't know why they played it conservative. He even said in his post-game interview out there on the field with people jumping around him, screaming, his brother standing beside him, they're all grinning and such. They're about to sing a song I don't know the words to. I always forget it. He said, we played a conservative game plan. No crap. I only tell you this, one of my only complaints I've had in a long time. Because notice every time they threw the ball downfield, when the officials, would actually throw a flag because Auburn grabbed them by their jock strap and threw them into the ground. Good Lord. Clemson was capitalizing. We also got to see that Kelly Bryant can actually throw a good football. I mean, I know that long pass against Kent State, but come on, guys, it's Kent State. And Deion Kane was 5 yards ahead of the feller. He threw that pass to Ray McLeod, and I admit it, I wet my pants. Changed my britches, came back in there, nailed crap myself, and Hunter Renfro caught that nice pass on the sideline, diving out of bounds. Let me tell you this, you could throw the ball up in middle, row 45, seat JJ, and he's going to catch it and keep 1 foot in bounds. That's Hunter Renfro for you. But the offense, the offensive play call, I believe this is what happened. It's between you and I, okay? I trust you. Trust me. Just trust me. I ain't at some state rest area restroom, peeping in between the little creases in between the stall doors. I ain't doing that. I ain't just sitting out there in a bondoed up van with OSB covering the windows, with Barbies with their hair chopped off in the back, sitting out there with some old rancid looking dog trying to come sit in my vehicle. I ain't. Just trust me. I think the offense, and maybe probably some of the offensive coordinators, might have taken upon themselves to go over to the SO before the game, knock back 1, 2, 14 beers. Got to watching the game, forgetting that they were supposed to play in it. And then, in a drunken stupor, and maybe wanting to work off a little bit of that chicken tenders they have over there, which, by the way, is fantastic if you've never been over there. Rummaged through the dumpster, found some cardboard, went over to the Hartwell Dam that's right beside there, big grassy knoll. It's a word I just learned, love to say knoll now. And they started sliding down it and lost track of time. That's the only thing I can think of. And also, I'm going to tell you this. If Kelly Bryant has to nearly get killed before he comes out and just really turns it on, he's going to have a very, very short playing career. Ask Francois. Really bad. But they did come out and they did put their fist up. My goodness, they did it. And I'll tell you, that was a commanding win. I'll go ahead and give you a little preview going into next weekend. First of all, game day's coming back for a second year in a row. I remember when Clemson couldn't get a game day to even drive by, stop by, and have a hot dog with them on their way to Alabama or wherever they were going. It's big happenings. Clemson is the talk of the town. And they're going up there to Papa John's. They're going to play the fighting Bobby Petrinos. They're going to mess up that red jacket Lamar Jackson was wearing up there in the Heisman Trophy. He's going to be saying, oh snap. Yep, that's right, when our defensive line rips his head off. You can't look at me and say, oh, they can't do that because he's grown as a player. He has grown as a player. I watched playing against North Carolina. He just like flicked his wrist and it was a touchdown. A long pass. I give it to him. He hadn't played that defense. Tell him to call Auburn and ask him how it went for him. And he doesn't have the talent around him. He doesn't. I'm sorry. They're not horrible. He doesn't have the talent around him. But if our offense plays anything like that, just brace yourselves, Clemson fans. We lose. They lose. Don't get mad at me. Don't question my allegiance. I pulled for them during the 90s. That's all the allegiance I got to show. I could say anything after the 90s. 90s were horrible. Good Lord. But anyway, if they don't open up the playbook Saturday, they're done. They're done. Not because we don't have the talent, but if I call that little bubble screen wide receiver thingy out to the right, guess what's going to happen? They're going to eat it up. You have guys with big play capability. Send them downfield. Send Renfro underneath. Bring a wide receiver out of the backfield. Or a running back out of the backfield. We're in business. But I do have faith in our coaches. Well, this is Bobby Dirkens saying, I think I hear... that's my tree falling down. It's Bobby Dirkens saying, I need a chainsaw. Bobby Dirkens.